Hey YouTube, Osman Slicer here. For one thing, I'm not going to do a deck video this time. I have a few others I'll do later today, but I want to do a general discussion video. Start things off here. First off, little announcement. I'm considering selling my Infernity deck, or at the very least the majority of the cards within it, which include an Infernity Destroyer, 3 Infernity Archfiends, 3 Infernity Beasts. Let's just go through, I guess, the more important ones. It's got the 2 barriers in there. There's a launcher in there. There's an Into the Void in there. There's 2 Wave Motion Infernos. I've got 3 Infernity Doom Dragons, 2 Stygian Sergeants, a 100 Eyes Dragon. If any of you are interested, just send me a message. Right now I'm just seeing what people would be willing to buy it at, and if I'm happy with one of the offers, I might sell it. So feel free to message me, make offers, whatever. There's one thing that I've been wanting to just find out what people think about why people do this. If you've gone to more competitive areas or you've dueled people that duel more competitively, you probably have noticed this one little thing that honestly just drives me nuts, which is people who play this competitively will constantly shuffle their hand. They can't sit still. They have to slam their fingers on cards. In general, they act incredibly nervous and just can't sit still and relax and actually duel and have some fun. If any of you got an idea of why, or if you're one of these offenders of this kind of a little thing, in my opinion, is actually a big offense, maybe you can explain to me why people do this. Because frankly, it drives me nuts. I sit there calmly, and it's not a problem for me. Just sit there, and for my hand, I just fold it up, put it down on the table. Essentially, what it would look like if I hold my hand up, it looks like a face down defense position monster behind my back row, so there's no confusion of what it is. It just drives me nuts. It makes me feel nervous when they can't sit still. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on this. I know that it bothers Derek, and I know it probably bothers Shadow Reaper of Hell to a degree as well. But I'm curious if any of you guys have an explanation or agree with me that it's a bit annoying. As well, I thought we should cover also the general trends that I've been seeing. First off, Debris Hime decks, they're about the stupidest things I've ever seen. They're effective and all, but it's just because of the Black Rose being at 3. We all know that. The whole thing with the Dragoonity stuff that people want so badly, they're making it a big deal based off of what we see in Japan, which, in my opinion, it's a bad idea to base anything off of what we see in Japan, because something may work there, but it won't work here. But something we have here may not work there either. It works both ways. Sometimes some of their stuff that they've got there works there, well, and then it'll work here. Like the Light Gemini Beatdown deck, that was made a long time ago in Japan and has been pretty consistent over there. And it finally made its way over here. I don't know what took it so long. I think people just didn't think it would work. So we saw that working. If I don't know for sure, but it's probably the same way on Yugioh Wiki right now. But I know for the longest time they were talking about Hero Blast, if I recall correctly, Neos Alias, and then Gemini Spark, and making a huge deal about these cards. And it became a joke within my group of friends that these are the most powerful cards in the game. The most powerful monster in the game is Neos Alias because of these decks. That's how they were making it out to be. But let's say also We all know how Black Wings were big here for the longest time. Um, as far as I know, they weren't that big over in Japan until recently. Um, yes, it's true. Also, we could say X-Savers are huge here, but they're not big there. But that's because they don't have some of the cards we have. Infernities were big over there and among the most powerful decks they had in a long, long time. But they were powerful when they got here, but they were nowhere near what they had over in Japan. They really were overhyped here in America. So frankly, just a few of these examples that we can all pick out shows that really we need to not concern ourselves with what's going on over there, but what's going on over here. Um, like right now, we're expecting here if we get when we get all the stuff for the Dragunities, is there going to be a top deck? Uh, I think they're a pretty cool archetype. I wouldn't mind doing them, but I'm not going to make it a top priority to get a hold of them. But I like them for their artworks, their overall effects, because they remind me of the days back when I was younger when equip cards were king, where you ran like 10 equip cards in a deck, and you would have anywhere from 2 to 3 equip cards thrown onto a single monster, and that was the norm. It just reminds me of those old days, and that's one thing I really like about them. Besides, they all have pretty damn cool artwork. And yes, I know that they can be very powerful because of the general synchro ability, which is part of the reason why it's attracting people to them. But I don't see them being as sweeping as people make them out to be. It's no different than the belief people have in the Fabled Dark World decks being that epic. They believe Fable will be tier 0. There's nothing I'm seeing that makes me believe that. Um, as well, for the Fabled Dark World, I don't know of anyone that's actually been able to put that deck even together at this point. Even watching on Pojo, I haven't seen anyone stating that they've been able to put one together. Simply because it seems, from what I've seen, it's almost impossible to pull a Fabled Raven. Um, it's harder to pull a Fabled Raven from what I've seen than Pot of Duality. I've seen more Pot of Dualities pulled. Um, as well, we might as well cover that. The Pot of Duality. People keep making a huge, huge deal about Pot of Duality, but I don't feel it's that powerful of a card as everyone wants to make it out to be. I get that it's a strong card, but everyone makes it out to be, at least on Pojo and other form sites, that it is the most powerful thing that we have gotten in a long time. I personally have seen people sit there and use them, and it helps, but there's things that you could get for cheaper that really do about the same damn thing and without the restriction. Um, like this previous Sunday at our tournament, I saw someone who wasted their money on Pot of Duality, which I don't know why you would want to spend that much money on a single card, but if you want to spend that money, fine. I don't care. But he didn't really get anywhere with it. He he really, it was more of a waste of money in my opinion, and as well just a waste of time with the card. I know I might be looking stupid to some of you by stating that, but I don't see it being that epic. Like if you have watched my video with my Apprentice Macro Monarch deck, uh, I would view Crystal Seer as being more epic than Pot of Duality with some of the stuff I've done with it. Sure, the drawback is you only get to look through 2 cards versus 3, but you don't have any kind of restriction on it there. As well, due to my Penguin Soldiers, I can continually recycle my Crystal Seers, as well as with the Pot of Avarice. But a lot of the time, what I've seen when people use Pot of Duality is they don't pull anything that great. It's another overhyped card, just like Solemn Judgment is, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but the vast majority of the time, I've seen people lose due to solemn judgment. Um, Even this past Sunday, I saw someone lose because they used solemn judgment. They cut their life points from 8,000 down to 4,000, and his opponent was able to kill him because of that. Well, actually, no, it wasn't this past Sunday. It was the Sunday before that Sunday. But the I might as well cover what I predict for the big decks um, here in the near future. Um, I would see Naturia being pretty damn powerful as soon as we get all the support, which that's going to take a little while, as I understand, because there's an insane amount of Naturia monsters. Um, I could see Dragunity's doing well, but I think they're going to be another example of Infernities kind of overhyped, not really as powerful as everyone seems to think, um, but they will be powerful. Can't really argue with that. I'm expecting, let's see here, the Katakuri to do pretty damn well if people figure out how to use them. Um, People have been saying all this stuff about the True Six Samurai, about how powerful they'll be, but I've started seeing a lot of people actually starting to think about this a little bit, and I agree with those people that are starting to think. They're very powerful if you get the right hand, but the problem is you have to get the right hand. And if you don't get that hand, they're going to fall by the wayside with these other decks. Let's see here, what else? We're of course seeing a resurgence of Gravekeeper stuff, and there may be a significant resurgence of them as soon as we find out about the new TCG exclusive Gravekeeper card. Whether that's verified or not in any way, I don't know. I just know there's been talk about it, and we still haven't gotten any information on that yet. But we might actually have Gravekeepers become another top tier deck. Um, Fabled, I don't expect to really get anywhere. It's another overhyped one like Infernities as far as I'm concerned. Um, Fabled mostly over in Japan. The power came from Trishula, and the fact that we don't have Trishula yet, and when we get it, it'll be down to one almost immediately. Essentially spells the same doom for the Fabled as it did for the Infernities, because Infernities were really powerful due to Trishula. So Trishula is yet another linchpin in that. I would not expect anything beyond just using the synchros for ice barriers to get anywhere really either. Which I still haven't actually heard of any method of abusing Gungnir yet, but if anyone has any information on how people are abusing Gungnir yet, notify me because I'm interested in seeing if there's anyone that's figured out a way for that. Because I have an interest in the ice barriers and I've been wanting to build the ice barrier deck for a long time. And I've been finding it difficult to believe that they'll find an effective manner to abuse Gungnir compared to Brionic or Delorean or Trishula. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and I'll start another video, which is going to be mostly a informational video about how I build my decks and some of the procedures I go through to build them. So, Osmani9 Slicer signing out.